21 Bridges was directed by Brian Kirk and stars Chadwick Boseman, who plays an NYPD officer who is tasked with taking down 2 cop killers after a robbery goes wrong in the city. The first couple of times I saw the trailer for 21 Bridges, I had no idea what this movie was about. I remember seeing the trailer during my screening for Avengers Endgame, and I was like, man, this movie looks good, but what is it about? I have no idea. I guess that all falls in promotions, but there was no reason for the film's trailer to be so confusing. The story is clear-cut. It's about 2 men who try to rob a winery full of heroin, and cops get involved, a lot of them die, and then the movie becomes a manhunt with Chadwick Boseman as the lead star. And this was a movie that I did enjoy for the majority. There's always been something that immediately grabs my attention with manhunt movies. For whatever reason, I've always gravitated towards them, and this movie was no different. For the first 2 acts, I was greatly enjoying myself. I found barely any problems with the movie. Most of the problems came in the 3rd act for myself. Let's begin with a very talented cast led by Chadwick Boseman, who I thought was great as the main character. A little difficult to understand here or there, might have been his accent in the film, but overall, Chadwick Boseman, again, is great in this movie. Sienna Miller is also featured in this film, along with J.K. Simmons, Stephen James, and Taylor Kitsch, who is becoming one of my favorite actors. I wish Taylor Kitsch was in more movies, but I was happy to see him in this film, and I thought he was excellent in the movie for the role that he was given. Where the film really caught my attention, though, was the brutality. The film was not afraid to show us certain things that other movies would never want to show. Like, for instance, cops getting obliterated with a ton of bullets. There's no way in hell most movies would show that, but this movie did not shy away from showing some pretty disturbing images. I do give director Brian Kirk a lot of credit for not shying away and showing us visuals that some people will find otherwise offensive. But I was all for it in the film, and it made this movie a lot more gritty than it would have been without it. Once the film's robbery went down, I was locked in, did not look away from the screen from that very moment, and until the conclusion, I watched this movie precisely. That's what I need. When a movie opens up with such a gut-wrenching, suspenseful scene, I will be invested throughout the majority of the movie just to figure out what's going to happen next and where the movie will take me. And a lot of films like Argo do this, where they start out with a really integral scene to begin, and for the rest of the film, you're pretty much locked because that first scene was just so good. Unfortunately, though, the movie does become predictable towards the end. Instead of hinting at certain things going on behind the scenes, they just show us, and characters make really dumb decisions that make it quite obvious what certain characters' intentions are in the film. So I really wish they would have just hinted at certain things instead of giving us every single detail in front of our face to where the spoilers start coming about and the movie is no longer unpredictable. You pretty much know where it's gonna go, and you just have to accept that with this film. I just have no idea why some characters make awful decisions and the rest of the movie becomes ruined for the audience. I'm trying to be less vague for what I'm saying, but it's really hard not to say more because then I would spoil the entire movie for you. So just know that some characters are really dumb and they basically spoil what the rest of this movie has in store for us. And I don't feel as if this movie ever reached its peak with the type of plot that's embedded in this film, the manhunt plotline. The film peaks in the middle, and then after that, as I said, certain things go down and you know where the movie's going to head next. So the first 2/3 are good, but then the last act, not so much because it is very predictable. Still, I appreciate the grittiness from 21 Bridges. There was never a time where it felt like they needed to shy away from showing us more gut-wrenching visuals, which was really nice, and the cast is extremely talented. Chadwick Boseman was great in this movie. I'm giving 21 Bridges a 71%. It's not as good as some of the other movies that I saw this year with similar plots, and for some reason we've seen a lot of movies like this in 2018, 2019, and so on and so forth. I wonder when these types of films will stop being made, but I can't complain because the movie did have a lot of really good scenes in there, especially with the beginning, because that beginning was pretty sweet. Alright, for those of you who have also seen 21 Bridges, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.